All righty, there we go. So we last talked about wisdom, but I feel like we should do a little bit of review, okay, just to get myself caught up, just to get all of us caught up onto the energy level, so that we can talk about wisdom level 3. Last week we went through wisdom level 1, wisdom level 2, and wisdom level 3. But I feel like we need a review of the basic concept, so that we could really take advantage of the wisdom level 3. And at the end of today's sharing, I hope to be able to say a little bit about the attitude, okay, the energy of attitude, the attitude of inner peace, of serenity. So first of all, Happy New Year. I'm very grateful that you guys have taken the time to come back and join this weekly discussion. Particularly honored by your presence, and especially those of you who have been with us since the beginning of this season. Very thankful to Ms. Lam for joining us. And thank you, chị Phương Tuấn, Postmaster, soon to be a Master of Happiness. I look forward to learning from you as much as I, in the process of studying myself. So let's see. Let's take a quick sort of review, okay, quick review of what we've done so far, kind of get us caught up in some of the vocabulary. As a human beings, our life can be, when we look at human life, okay, most of us have a certain ways of looking at it, and we call it perspective. And while there are many different perspectives that sort of govern our way of looking at things, there seem to be 3 major categories that human perspective tend to fall into, right? A lot of us seems to, let's use, why not? A lot of us seem to think in terms of science, okay, the scientific perspective, okay? And then there are those of us who tend to be more religious and spirituality. They dominate the way we look at life or understand life. Is that hard to see? Can you, let me see if I can improve my handwriting a little bit, okay? So, see here. So here's a triangle of reality of human life. So we have the science, we have the religion and spirituality. And then there are those of us who don't really think in terms of science, or they don't really think of, they don't have a religion or spirituality, but they operate on common sense. Okay? Common sense, common logic, book wisdom, common sense. Now, so far, in the last, I believe, 11 sessions so far, we have applied several system of references. From the scientific perspective, the sages have given us the root cause formula. Okay, so we are always trying to look to see what are the root cause of life, such that if we can find the good cause to our life, then we can create the good outcome of life. The root cause of life is one such system of reference that helped us determine the good seed that we can plant so that we can so that we can reap the good fruit. Okay, the kind of outcome that we want in life. If a healthy and happy life is the kind of life that we want as a final outcome, then what are some of the good seed that we need to plant? And in terms of the root cause formula, a good seed that we need to plant are the mental images. Mental images. Okay, we're going to say good mental images. Okay, if we want a good life. In the root cause formula, it says that our condition, our life situation or our life condition right now is the final outcome. And then that outcome came about as a result of a series of choices that we've made. And those choices that we've made are compatible with who we are, compatible with the kind of person. And those choices came about as a result of the mental images that we have about ourselves and about other people. You guys remember that? Okay. And the mental images are made up of the stuff that we hear, the stuff that we see, the things that we say, and the things that we know. So if we want a good life, if we want good health, if we want good finances, if we want good relationship, then all we got to do is go and create and plant good mental images, the things that we want to monitor, the kind of thing that we hear and the kind of thing that we see that is good and positive. We want to control what we say about ourselves and about other people so that we would actually experience good health, good relationship, and good finance. Using this formula, you can know right away when a person comes to you with problem. Right? When a friend or anybody comes complaining about the relationship, then immediately we know that that person is containing within themselves a bunch of mental images that are not very favorable to their life situation. It is not what they want. And thereby not having good mental images about life will lead to not having a desirable or favorable life. Okay, that is a root cause formula. The scientific method, specifically the scientific method, always begin with the outcome in mind. In fact, scientists would begin with a hypothesis, which is a proposed final outcome. Okay, and then they would go about conducting experiment leading to that final outcome to verify if that outcome is true or not. So borrowing from the scientific method, we begin our life with the final outcome, which are the seed of mental images in our mind. And then we go about taking steps to bringing out the final outcome that we want, that which is desirable, okay? And then for those of you, those of us who are not so scientific, sometimes we tend to be very religious or spiritual. Many people have a religion. They could be a Buddhist, they could be a Christian, they could be a Muslim, or simply they identify themselves as a spiritual person. And in the frame of reference of the religion and spirituality, what we have been offered with is the frame of reference called the human construct. Okay, basically how the human beings are made up. Now, interestingly enough, when we look at the human construct, we talk a lot about energy. We talk about vibrational energy frequency. We talk about how the kind of life experience that we have is a vibrational energy frequency match with our inner being. If we as a person vibrate at a high and ultra high energy level, then we will experience life that is high and ultra high, which are tend to be very desirable and favorable. On the other hand, if we ourselves vibrate at a low energy level, then we tend to resonate with, or we tend to be a match with a lot of negativity in life, illnesses, okay? Poor health, unfavorable relationship. So from a religious and spiritual perspective, we can also very immediately tell if another person is where they're at in terms of their energy level. If a friend or somebody comes to us with problems, then we can safely say that, oh, they have been accumulating a lot of negative energy in terms of their own emotion, in terms of their own awareness, in terms of their own virtue and deeds toward other people. Hello, Marianne. Thank you for joining us. Did you want to say something? You raised your hand. No? Okay.
Hi. So you say something about vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand that. So like as a human being, how do you know you vibrate at a high frequency? You know, we know like a machine, you know, like what? You know, yeah, when the machine vibrate, you can feel it, but how do you feel, or how can I feel myself? How do I know that I vibrate at a high frequency?
Mm-hmm. Good question. Thank you for that. There have been scientific experiments conducted to measure a person's vibrational frequency. And unfortunately, here we don't have the equipment to do that. But if you're interested, you can always do a search on how to measure a person's vibrational energy frequency. It turns out that when scientists measure the energy frequency of people who are happy, who are at peace, they tend to find that their vibrational energy tend to be very high. But let's see if we can come to an understanding without using, fancy scientific equipment. Consider our own body, okay? So here we said that high energy frequency is a match for better life, right? A person who is living in high energy would tend to attract more favorable circumstances, more desirable outcome. They will be happier and they will be healthier. As opposed to a person who is experiencing low energy, they tend to experience undesirable circumstances. They tend to be having unfavorable situation. So let's take a look at our own human body. Okay. A human body, remember the human construct, we are made up of earth, air, earth, water, fire, and air, right? Earth, water, fire, and air. Of those progression, would you say the earth, the physical heavy stuff, vibrate less than, say, air, right? At least in that aspect, we understand that, let's say when water, you add energy to water, it vibrates more and it would rise and it become air, right? So air is higher energy vibration than water. Water, if you remove energy, you lower its energy vibration, it becomes solid, it becomes like ice, it gets cold. So you take a look at our own human body. If we live in a state where we have very low energy, we are cold all the time, and you find that usually we tend to get sick in the winter, right? The only way to prevent us from getting sick is we have to stay warm. We have to bring our energy level to a warmer level. We have to raise our energy level so that we can feel better. And for those of us who can actually raise our energy level even more by moving a lot, that's called exercising, right? More energy, more movement. All things in the universe is moving, and the thing that has more energy moves more. The thing that has less energy moves less. And so simply from a physical body energy level, people who move around more, people who have more energy, people who exercise more, tend to be healthier. And when they're healthier, they tend to be happier. They tend to be more successful than people whose body energy is so low. In fact, if your energy is low, you'll feel lazy, you feel tired all the time. And as a result, we also get sick all the time. So that's on a very physical level, right? That's something that we can kind of feel ourselves. Do you at least get that sense of that low energy tend to correspond to coldness, tend to correspond to illness, whereas higher energy tend to correspond to happier and healthier life? Can you at least sense that, Marianne? Yeah, okay, so you got thumbs up. Okay, so at least we can sense that now without, fanciful scientific experiment. And of course, we use a scientific experiment, then they can measure the actual vibrational frequency. There are certain numbers associated with it. I don't know what that number is, but there are certain state of being. A person who is in a state of chaotic depression, that can be measured, their vibrational energy tend to be very low. And it also associates with their lack of activity. People who are very depressed tend to be lying around the house all day and they don't do anything. They don't move around a lot. Okay. And then people who are very high in energy tend to be very successful, and science can actually measure that. And there are 3 types of energy that can help us maintain a high state of energy vibration. That is a state of serenity, which is inner peace. There is a state of magnanimity, which is generosity and tolerance toward other people. And then there is a state of honoring gratitude, which is being grateful for all the things that we have and all the people that is in our lives. At the end of today and next week, we will talk more about those energy level, those ultra high energy level. Well, there are many different energy level, right? They're high, low, all over the place. Why bother with all the negative stuff? Instead, what we do, we want to focus on the 3 highest energy level, which is serenity, magnanimity, and honoring gratitude. Okay, so that's basically what the human construct say. Our energy level is a match for the things that we experience. There's a saying in English: birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. The Vietnamese equivalent is mây tầng nào gió tầng nào mây tầng đó. So however we are being, our state of energy, we will attract the kind of people in our surrounding that is a match for that. If somebody is way beyond our perception, we don't even interact with them. We don't even know that they exist, because our vibrational energy frequency just simply doesn't match with them, right? Like for me, I don't know of any billionaires, and except through WIT organization. But even then, I have not directly interacted with all of those extremely rich people, because I am not yet a vibrational energy frequency match with those people. Okay, so when we can start thinking about energy frequency match, if we want to be in the circle of people of a certain level, where they are rich people or they're extremely healthy people or people who have great, wonderful relationship, those people exist on a certain energy level. And if we want to experience those same reality as them, then we can go to work on raising our energy level. And how do we do that? First of all, we understand that in the human construct, the human nature, we have the 16 human nature. We have desire, we have imagination, we have anger, we have ignorance, we have judgment, all those things. If we focus on being positive, we choose to go positive, and we choose to go balanced, then we will raise our energy level to high and ultra high. We don't let ourselves go negative, because going negative will make us be a vibrational match for negativity. Okay, not only do we raise our own energy, which mean in a way of awareness. By raising our own awareness, we raise our energy level, but we could also raise our energy level by helping other people in terms of good deeds. in terms of the virtue that we accumulate when we help other people go positive. So there are two ways to raise our energy level. One is directly by raising our own awareness, raising our own emotion. And the secondly is indirectly by helping other people raise their level of energy, and thereby we will earn a type of energy called spiritual merit, okay, or intellectual merit and blessing. We receive blessing by helping other people. So ultimately, if we want a good life, we want a better life, then we have to help other people achieve a better life as well. Okay, that is a human contract. That is the reference of the religion and spirituality. And then the human construct goes into things like the subconscious mind, right? Subconscious mind. It talks about our affinity with other people. It talks about why is it that sometimes we meet a perfect stranger, or first time you meet somebody at coworker, and we seem to have a wonderful relationship and affinity with them. Very positive. Our affinity with that person very positive, even though we have never met that person before. On the other hand, we may have met somebody for the first time and they just make us feel bad, and we just really don't resonate with that person. We don't really like them. It talked about the affinity, positive affinity and negative affinity. And all of that lies within our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind have accumulated the kind of energy, a kind of affinity with another person through a process called karma. Okay, so in the past, whenever we think of a person or an event, and we think of it in terms of positive, then we would accumulate positivity with that person. In our past lives, if you agree, if you believe that this life extends beyond just this life, that extend multiple past life, then maybe in the past, our relationship with that other person, we have created a lot of positive affinity with that other person, or a lot of negativity with that person, so that the first time we meet that person now in this life, we immediately feel a sense of affinity or negative affinity, attraction or repel, right? That is how the total karma works. Okay. Does that make sense so far? The human construct, that is the garden of our subconscious. Okay, so every time we think about somebody, or every time we think about somebody, we deposit a positive or a negative seed into our garden of the subconscious. And over time, if we accumulate a lot of positive seed, then we are going to experience positive and favorable circumstances, whether it's with a person or with a circumstance. Okay. In the human contract, we talk more about vibrational energy when it comes to time, right? Our experience of time is different than the value of time. If our vibrational energy is low, then time seems to drag on. It seems to take a long time. But at the same time, we do very little productivity. We don't get anything done. When we are bored, when we are depressed, our experience of time seems to stretch on, and yet we get very little done. That's our energy is very low. On the other hand, if our energy is really high, then our experience of time seems to be fast. Time just fly by, right? There's a saying, time flies when you're having fun, right? Time flies when you're having fun, and you're having a lot of fun. When our energy is high, time goes by really fast, but at the same time, during that short amount of time, we get a lot of things done. If we're spending time with another person, then we get a lot of quality time with another person. Whereas if our energy is low, then we spend some time with another person and it drags on. Okay, so the human construct can be said that it is an energy structure. Okay, when we study the human construct, what we're really is studying the energy of the human being. It is an energy aspect of our life, whether it's with respect to a circumstance, an event, or with another person. Okay, and then for those who are not religious or spiritual, or they're not scientific, there is a common sense perspective. And the common sense perspective, we simply offer the reality triangle. Okay, reality triangle borrow from the fact that, you know, in this world, everything that we see, everything that manifests itself materially, physically, whether it's lead or gold in terms of their physical manifestation, or if it is something intangible like health and happiness, everything that can manifest itself that we can sense, whether we feel it, see it, or we can know it in terms of our awareness, everything has a information that give rise to a certain energy vibration, which give rise to that physical material manifestation. So the reality triangle is a powerful tool for us to also look at another person or look at ourselves and see where that person is come from. If a person comes to us with problem, then we also instantly know that the information within that person is unfavorable, the source concept is unfavorable, and thereby the energy and the physical manifestation is that which is unfavorable. The life outcome is undesirable. If a person is really happy and healthy, then we have to say, what kind of source concept, what kind of information does that person have about health and happiness that makes them manifest in such a way that we can really sense as health and happiness. And the reality triangle is basically what we, our source concept, okay? That which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. So source concept. Okay, obviously you want favorable source concept. Over here, the human concept, we have the virtue, which are the good deeds. Okay, we have the bad, you know, the bad deeds. Let me say bad deeds. And we have the intellectual merit. We will talk a lot about the intellectual merit today when we talk about the wisdom. Okay. So basically all we have, what we have so far is all the tools that we need in order to explain the kind of cause that is required in order to create the kind of outcome that we want. Each of us helps look at the seed that we need to plant in order to give rise to the outcome that we need to reap, the fruit that we want to reap. From the scientific perspective, the root cause formula gives us the mental images. If you have good mental images, you're going to have good outcome in life. If we want to change our life from the scientific perspective, just change our mental images. It's that simple. From the religious perspective, the good seed within us are the virtue, the good deed that we perform for other people, the merit that we accumulate when we help other people raise their awareness. If we want to change our life, change our virtue, accumulate virtue, do good things for other people, raise their awareness. From the common sense perspective, we have the reality triangle. The root of our life is in our source concept, that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. If our lives, in any area of our life, whether it's our inner being, or our health, or our relationship, or our finance, if it is unfavorable, then you go and you take a look at the source concept. What do we know about our inner being? What do we know about our health? What do we know about our relationship and our finance? What do we understand? What do we believe about it? Is it favorable? If we change our source concept, turn the information into that which we know, believe, and understand to be favorable, then we're going to get a favorable outcome. Right? If a person, you know, with the reality triangle, if a person comes and say, getting rich is really difficult. Getting rich is for rich people. then you immediately know that person has a certain source concept. What they believe about getting rich is unfavorable. What they know about getting rich is unfavorable. But if a person comes and say, getting rich is pretty simple. All you need is people, right? Because people are your income. People are the means in which you can create money. Then that person has a favorable source concept about getting rich, about making money, and about people. You get that so far? So all three reference systems are wonderful tools, and you can use any one of them. And a really wise and smart person will be able to use all of them. So mastering the three frame of references is really a smart thing to do if we really want to create the kind of life that we want. You want the life that is desirable and favorable, with mental images, perform good deed, accumulate a virtue, carry within us favorable source concept. Okay. Any question before we review the wisdom? Okay. Thank you, Marianne, for the thumbs up. Okay. Let's see. So yes, last week we talked about wisdom. First of all, remember our house of holistic health and holistic wealth, right? Okay, the principle of light says that instead of trying to fix problem, there are people today. I went to get my eye checked, eye exam, and my doctors was this doctor is a pretty modern eye exam facility. She has all kinds of machineries and computer and different ways of looking the eyes. You can look at the nerves. You can look at the blood vessels. You can look at all kinds of things. And as I'm listening to the doctor, certain things that she's saying is about trying to find problems. It's like the doctor was trying to find the problems with my eyes. But we have already learned that according to the principle of light, if we want our room to be bright enough, you don't try and find the darkness. You don't try to remove the darkness. What you want to do is you bring in the light, right? As you turn on the light, darkness would go away. But the instant that the light goes out, darkness would come in. But if you spend our life trying to look for problems and trying to fix problems, then we will never know what the light looks like. So we try to bring in the light into our life by lighting up these 7 candles. And by the way, when I ask my doctor, what is I try to ask a principle of light question. I say, what's a good way of maintaining eye health? She doesn't have a good answer. She just gave me some simple thing like exercise, eat right. That's it. So a doctor who is a PhD, she's probably spent over 10 years trying to find all the possible problem of the eyes, and she has no answer on how to maintain eye health other than eat right and exercise. But she didn't have a good concept of what eating right means. She doesn't have a good source concept about what does it mean to exercise. And so for our life, instead of trying to find problems, we light up our room, our house, okay? Light up the candle of wisdom, candle of attitude, candle of character, candle of integrity, capability, physique, and material well-being. And by doing that, essentially, we have enriched our inner being, we have enriched our health, enriched our relationship, and enriched our finance. So that is why this is the house of holistic health and holistic wealth at the same time. Okay, so wisdom is the first candle that we get to light up. And last week, we mentioned wisdom. Okay, wisdom is simply understood as a concept. It is a source concept wisdom is simply understood as a concept that points to a state of inner awareness. That's important. It is simply a state of inner awareness. Up to now, people say wisdom, and we feel that, oh, it's something fancy, right? Nobody really know what wisdom is. But to us, it's pretty simple. It is just a state of inner awareness. Okay? Wisdom level 1 has to do with right and wrong, true or false, good or bad, should or should not. In fact, when we talk about wisdom level, we talk about the difference between state of awareness and wisdom. Okay? The level 1 state of awareness is simply a state of awareness that things, event, people, circumstances, phenomena, and people are right or wrong, true or false, good or bad, should or should not. That's a level 1 awareness. Right? People, things, events, circumstances are right or wrong, true or false, good or bad, should or should not. But just because we have the awareness of right or wrong, should or should not, true or false, good or bad, does not necessarily mean we are actually a quote unquote wise person just yet. And why is that? Imagine you're a baby. A baby. We don't know anything yet. We don't have any awareness just yet. We see a fire, and we put our hand into the fire and we get burned. In that instant moment, the baby comes to an awareness of right or wrong, good or bad, should or should not, with respect to putting their hand in the fire. Right? Before that, a baby, we don't know anything, no awareness. But the moment we put in our hand in the fire, we get burned, we draw a hand, we know from then on that there's fire is something that we don't put our hand in because you'll get burned. Okay, that is a simple state of awareness of right or wrong, should or should not. Now, as we become an adult, we grow up, we gain more awareness, more things that we should do, more things that we should not do, more right and more wrong. But somehow, instead of choosing the right, instead of choosing the good, instead of choosing to do what we should do, we often do the thing that we should not do. We choose the bad instead of the good. We choose the wrong instead of the right. And a person who chooses wrong instead of right, who choose bad instead of good, we can't call that person a wise person. That person has no wisdom, even though they have an awareness of right or wrong, good or bad, and should or should not, right? So awareness is simply knowing right or wrong, good or bad. But a person of wisdom of level 1 is a person who proactively choose the right over the wrong, who proactively choose the truth over falsehood, who choose to do good instead of do bad things, who choose to follow the law instead of break the law, to should instead of should not. Okay, so you see the distinction between a simple state of awareness and in a person of wisdom of level 1. Okay, so yeah. So wisdom level 1, it's ironic because you look around and we see people gone through many years of their life, even in their mid-life, even in their older years, still doing things that we can consider not so wise. They're still making bad decisions instead of good decisions, making wrong choices. Okay, that is because they have not had a good, clear concept of what wisdom is. They don't understand the difference between level 1 awareness and level 1 wisdom. But now we do. Okay, so now that we have been given the source concept of wisdom level 1, we know the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. We also know that wisdom is a proactive choice to choose good over bad and right over wrong. But sometimes we want to, but we don't. We want to eat healthy, but instead we don't eat healthy. We want to exercise because we know that that's good for health, but we don't exercise. Right. So here is where the dilemma comes in. Right. Just because we know the right and wrong doesn't mean that we're always going to choose the right over wrong, because there's something else at work that is sort of preventing us from choosing the right over wrong. Okay. And so we can help by raising our wisdom to level 2. Okay. Level 2 awareness is simply the awareness that the root cause of life begins with me, or with myself. The root cause of life begins with myself. Anytime, at any moment, anything can happen, but a person of level 2 awareness realize that, oh, root cause of me, life begins with me, and I take responsibility. Has any of you ever been in a situation where you're at work or at school or at home, and let's say somebody spills a glass of water, or somebody breaks something, and you just take responsibility and you just clean it up? No questions asked. Doesn't even think about right or wrong. You don't even think about good or bad. You don't even think about should or should not. You just clean it up, because you have an awareness that the root cause of life begins with me, and you take ownership of that situation. And it's not about good or bad. It's not about right or wrong. You just take ownership of it. Okay. And sometimes we have it, and sometimes we don't have it, that awareness. Now, a person with wisdom of level 2 wisdom is a person who proactively, once again, the key word here is proactive. A person of wisdom is a person who proactively choose. We proactively choose to take ownership of our life because we recognize that the root cause of life begins with me. And how does a person of level 2 wisdom take ownership? It has to do with the mental images. Okay. A person of level 2 wisdom will proactively create positive mental images about people, things, events, and circumstances. And then they will go out and create the kind of reality that matches with those mental images. Once you create a positive mental image about a person or an event or something, then we can rotate down to level 1 and pick and choose the right thing to do, the good action, the truth, the right way to do things, and then we will be able to achieve the mental images that we created for ourselves. You see how wisdom works? It is a proactive choice that gives us the power and the ability to rotate among different levels of awareness and to take ownership of our life. Right? So a person of level 2 wisdom is a person who can proactively choose to create positive mental images. When we hear a news event, it's a bad news, right? Dying, people suffering, fire, flood. A person of level 2 would monitor their hearing and their seeing. They choose not to let in those information. They can change the station on the TV. And instead, they will create positive images about what's possible. They may decide to, they may choose to help the people who are suffering, because that is the right thing to do. They choose to do the right thing. Okay. Okay. Anybody clear, or anybody have any question about level 2 wisdom and awareness? Okay. I will review level 3. Okay, I will go review level 3 in a little bit more detail, because level 3 will lead us into the attitude of serenity. And last week I promised we would talk a little bit about attitude. Okay, serenity, inner peace, is a high state of being, high energy level that everybody strive to experience, but not very many people will get there. Not many people experience inner peace, and that is because they have not have a strong foundation of level 1, level 2, and level 3 wisdom. It takes wisdom to experience inner peace. It takes wisdom to have serenity. Okay, so I will go over level 3 wisdom. Yes, Marianne, thank you for your raising hand. Question, Sharon.
I have a question about, okay, so we all know that, okay, right and wrong, and choose to do right. And then level 2 is like, everything, whatever happened, it begins with me. So I mean, like, don't you think that people will take advantage of me though? I mean, like, okay, like, I clean up after them. I know that's the right thing to do. So they see me keep doing that, and they just let me do it. It's just like it's just like now it's become my job. When I just helping out, it's not my job. Yeah, so I think that being so nice, and I'm become, like, yeah, like people take advantage of me. That's what I feel, but then we're talking about the what is it, what is it, the merit, what is it, or that, like when you do a good deed, you accumulate, the what is it, good good fortunate, and intellectual merit. So when I think about it, like, okay, I know they take advantage of me, but by doing this, I'm collecting coins. So that's why I keep quiet, but on the back of my head, I'm still like, I'm not really like happy, like, oh, I'm doing it, I know, I'm doing a good deed with, but I'm still a little bit mad that people take advantage of me, and that's happened a lot, in reality, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, at work, I just help out, even though they are my subordinates, but I still help their job out and everything. So now it's become an expectation. It's like, when they need help, they said, Mary, could you go and do this? Mary, could go do that. At first I said, okay, sure, I do. And I was like, I looked at them like, what? You're telling me to do that? Is that your job? So it's like, it's hard to maintain the, how you say, like, positive attitude. And I hate it when people, take advantage of me. So how can I still doing a good deed, but for them to know that, okay, don't take advantage of me, I'm not an easy cookie, so how do you do that?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the question. That's a wonderful question. And I want you to keep that question for when we get to the sharing on the energy of wisdom called magnanimity. Okay, that is dealing with people who brings you undesirable, circumstances, and how do you deal with people that you don't agree with. That has to do with a state of being of magnanimity. But before that, we can go back a little bit. When we see that somebody does something and you say that you hate it, or when you say that I don't want to be taken advantage, which level of wisdom or awareness, in fact, which level of wisdom or awareness are you operating from right now?
Maybe level 1.
So level 1, right or wrong, all right, right or wrong, should or should not.
And
okay.
With the human instructor, I think I you my emotion,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So you becoming aware of yourself, your human construct, the
Mhm.
different layers. Okay, we'll review the layers. But with the level one, right and wrong, true or false, let me ask you this: Is this level one awareness, or is it level one wisdom that you're operating from?
Level one awareness. I don't
Yeah,
have
it's just
wisdom yet.
awareness. Yeah, you just know it's right and wrong.
But
It's
can
good or bad.
get
It's
in
good,
the
it's not. Right. Because a level one wisdom or level one wise person will proactively choose to think positive about another person, will do what it should be done, and will maintain positivity. That's wisdom. Okay. And it's okay if we're still at level one awareness, that's fine. Most people are. And as you continue to study, to attend the sharing, and as you share, okay, this is a very important part. The fact that you have just shared this have caused other people in this Zoom to raise their awareness. And by doing that, you have accumulated a positive seed in your intellectual merit account. And as we go through this, and as other people are benefiting from your sharing, eventually you will get it. Okay, you will, I guarantee you will go up to level one wisdom, you will understand level two, level three. Okay, and then when we talk
All
about
right.
magnanimity, you will really get what it means, what to do when we encounter people who sort of, makes us uncomfortable, and people who disagree with us, and what the best way to deal with that. Okay, because that right now, the sense of, they do things and they take advantage of me, what is that like? What does it feel like? Is it kind of like bothersome, right? It's kind of not, not a good feeling, right? Not a good feeling. We feel kind of sort of trapped by it, right? So the question is, do you want to be free from that? And I think you want to, otherwise you wouldn't have asked, right? How to be free of that entanglement to the emotion, to the mind, and to what other
Feeling.
people do, right? So, perfect question for level three wisdom. Okay, so we're going to review level three wisdom. Anybody else have any question or any sharing before we jump to level three wisdom? Because last week, I know at the end of the course, I know some people wanted to leave, and I was trying to cram in level three wisdom at the end of last week's sharing, and then that was 2 weeks ago, and then we skipped last week for New Year, so I think it's important that we go back to level three wisdom. Okay. So very grateful for you guys taking the time, of you guys coming back. I see familiar faces. Okay. So level three wisdom. This is something that you do want to write down. Okay, I'm just going to read it to you, and you try to write it down. So let's just that picture. Okay, so with the picture, okay, triangle reality is a wonderful tool. Okay, wisdom, everything in this universe have a physical manifestation. It has an information that give rise to the energy. That energy give rise to that physical manifestation, even wisdom. Okay, from an information aspect of wisdom, there are 5 levels of awareness. We went through level 1 and 2, and I'm going to go over level 3 today. Next week, we'll talk about attitude, and at some point, I will talk about level 4 or 5. But all we really need is level 1, 2, and 3. From an informational aspect of wisdom, there are 5 state or 5 levels of awareness, 5 state of awareness. State of awareness, state of inner awareness, level 3. Okay, state of inner awareness, level 3, is simply a state of emptiness of being. Okay, state of awareness of state of inner awareness of level 3 is a state of emptiness of being. Okay, so I'm gonna write that. Where was that sheet? Okay, all right. So with level 3 wisdom, okay, it is a state of emptiness of being. Remember in the human construct, we talk about the layers. Do I have it? Layers, the layers. I can always draw it up. Okay, I'll draw it. Let's draw it again. Make it pretty. Yeah, we'll draw it again. So we have, this is our inner being. We have the will. Let's use this color. Okay. So level 3 wisdom. Remember there's an awareness that corresponds to a level of wisdom. There's awareness and wisdom. Wisdom is proactive choice. A state of awareness of level 3 is simply a state of emptiness of being. Okay, emptiness of being. A person of wisdom of level 3 is a person who has a state of inner awareness such that all things, events, circumstances, and people has emptiness as their nature. Okay, I'll read that again slowly for you. A person of wisdom of level 3 or a person who has level 3 wisdom is a person who has a state of is a person who has a state of inner awareness such that all things, events, circumstances, and people has emptiness as their nature. A person who has level 3 wisdom is a person who has a state of inner awareness such that all things, events, circumstances, and people has emptiness as their nature. Okay, emptiness as their nature. A person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always feels that things, events, circumstances, and people are, by nature, have no problem. A person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always feels that things, events, circumstances, and people are, by nature, have no problem. The previous, the first one said that a person of level 3 wisdom is a person who has a state of inner awareness such that all things, events, circumstances, and people has emptiness as their nature. And the second line says, a person of wisdom of level 3 or a person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always feel that things, events, circumstances, and people are, by nature, has no problem. Okay, do you get that so far? A person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always feel that things, events, circumstances, and people are, by nature, have no problem. Okay, next one. Is a person who always live with the present reality. Is a person who always live with the present reality. A person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always live with the present reality. Okay, is a person who always live in the now. Okay, the now is the present reality. It is a person who already always live with the truth within themselves. Okay, this is a little weird one, but just pay attention. Is a person who has already always lived with the truth within themselves. Okay, a person of level 3 wisdom is a person who has already always lived with the truth within themselves. We'll go through the whole definition and we'll go back to explain what each of that statement means, okay? So a person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always lived with the present reality, is a person who has already always lived with the truth within themselves. Next one is a person who always know that they are already always hearing. Is a person who already is a person who always know that they are already always hearing. Next one, know that they are already always seeing. Know that they are already always speaking, and know that they are already always knowing. Okay, so the last one is a person of level 3 wisdom is a person who always know that they are already always hearing, know that they are already always seeing, know that they are already always speaking, and know that they are already always knowing. Okay, it's a mouthful, but it's important if you break it down. What does that mean? What does all of that mean? So over here, okay, in the human construct, we discovered that human being, we have deep inside us a very simple truth. That we have the will to see, hear, the will to see, the will to speak, and the will to know. That from the moment that we were, even before we were born, as a fetus in our mother's womb, we have already begun to hear and we begun to see. And when we are born, if we hear a sound and we can hear a sound, if there's no sound and we are hearing no sound. If there's an object and there's light, we can see an object with light. If there's nothing to see, then we see no thing. But we are always hearing and we are always seeing. That is a truth that never changes, okay? Despite space or time. And from the moment we learn to speak, we never quite stop speaking. We don't open our mouth, but we're speaking up here in our mind. And once we know something, we can't unknow anything. It becomes a part of us. So as human beings, we have a simple truth that we are already always hearing, we are already always seeing, we are already always speaking, and we are already always knowing. Okay? And in a human construct, where we say that this is our inner being, it is wrapped up in a layer of highly balanced electromagnetic light energy, okay, very high in energy. It does not oscillate very much, and therefore it's a very high energy frequency. And so this is our inner being, also known as the truth within ourselves, also known as our true self. Okay, right outside of this layer is what layer? Does anybody remember? Right outside of our true self, the will to hear, the will to see, the will to speak, the will to know. Outside of here is what layer? Does anybody remember? We have the layer of the mind. Okay, the mind. Or in the Zen Buddhist tradition, it is the 16th personality. It is the 16th personality that makes up our mind. Okay, and right outside of the mind, what do we have? What layer do we call the outside of the mind?
Emotion.
The emotion. Exactly. Thank you, Ron. You paid attention. Being in the presence of the master for what, 10 days straight can get your level of wisdom up pretty fast in a short amount of time, right?
Yes, I remember this. I remember this diagram.
Yeah. Okay, so the emotion and the mind, they're very tied to each other. And each of them, we have a specialized terminology that we refer to each of them. Okay, what do we do with the mind? We analyze and distinguish. Okay, analyze and distinguish. Okay, this is where right and wrong, should and should not, true or false comes in. What do we do with our emotion? We react or respond. Okay, we can say react for now. Okay, emotion, we react. What do we do with our true self, our inner being? We use the word welcome, welcomely receive. Okay, we welcomely receive. What do we welcomely receive? We welcomely receive anything that we come in contact with. Whether it's an event or a person or a news message, an object, an image, a sound, anything that comes in, that we come into contact with, we call it information. Now, okay, so one of the definitions say the person of level 3 wisdom is a person who has already always lived with the truth within themselves. Okay, the truth within themselves. This is called our true self in here. So let's go over this example one more time. Okay, this thing that I'm holding up. Okay, this, I'm holding this thing up. What is it? Can somebody interact with me? Anybody?
It's a pen.
Nothing.
Okay, somebody says it's a pen, somebody says nothing. Okay, all of them are good answers. Okay, so here's a question. Which layer of our being perceive that?
You're here and see, or not here, but see.
Which
And
layer?
you're analyzing it, so it's in your mind.
Okay, so which layer perceive this first? Let me ask you, which layer perceive this first?
Here, see,
Emotion.
we
Hmm?
see. The first
Okay.
we'll see.
The inner, the true self. Okay, this is the true self or the inner being. Anyone
Inner being.
have any different answer? Marianne, what do you think? Which layer perceive this first?
Emotion, because that's what I react.
There you go. See, not everybody is on the same. Yeah,
You haven't got there yet.
Yeah, I
yeah,
react. I see.
yeah.
See.
It's so interesting, huh? It's so interesting. See, for some people, immediately when we perceive this thing, we have a certain emotional response, right? And other people, when we see this, we start to analyze. It's a pen. Is it a new pen? Is it an old pen? What color is it? It looks green. It's kind of light green, or maybe it's dark green, right? But the truth is, when you take a moment to kind of slow down first, do we perceive this first before we analyze or before we actually feel it? Right? The moment you see this, is it not the perception? Is it not the hearing and seeing that will perceive this before we actually feel anything? Because without it, we can't feel anything. Okay? Without seeing it, we can't feel anything yet because it's not there yet. So it is truly the case that we perceive this with our true hearing and seeing. It is the case that we perceive this with our true self or our inner being before our mind and the emotion jump in. It's just that for many of us, that space between perceiving it and feeling or thinking is so small and short. It could be a nanosecond. It's like, 0.00000000001 second. So we feel as if our emotion and our mind will perceive it. But if we slow down for a moment, can you realize that it's always the case that we will see it before we feel it?
I
It's
think
just-
it depends. It depends, like, okay, because I grew up and I know that a pen. But if you show me instantly when I see that, I react, yes, a pen.
It feels like an instant. Okay, but we'll take let's see if we can stretch out the timeline. See if we can stretch out that timeline. Before
Right, so
you see this as something, do you not see first? You have to open your eye, you see, and then your brain will tell you that it is something. In fact, from a scientific perspective, it takes time for the light from the sun or the light from my desk. I have a desk light. It takes time for my desk light to bounce to the pen, and then that light bounce to your eye, and then that information in your brain process to tell you what it is. But the speed of the light, first of all, the speed of the light is really fast, 300 million meters per second or 300,000 kilometers per second. So light happens very fast. So we can't even sense how fast light is. But there is, by scientific definition, a delay in the time that the light reaches the pen before it reaches your eye. And then there's a delay for your brain to process that stuff before you realize that it is a pen. Right? Can we slow down? Can you get that? So in terms of
right,
okay.
but can I say something?
Yeah.
So my point is, okay, if you show me something that I have never seen before, or it's something I have, like since the day I was born until now, I have never seen it. And if you show to me, of course, that would be, then I will you welcome and receive, because I don't know what that is. I know that's the thing, but I I don't have the name for it. I don't know what it does. Is that right? So I mean, yeah, that's how I think.
No, that's perfectly
I already
right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you show me something I already know, then instantly, yeah, I know what it is. But if you show me something I have never seen before, then I would like, what? What is it?
Okay. Yeah.
So what is it? Like I was like mentally paralyzed, looking at that thing that I don't know what it is. Then you will say that welcome and receive. That
Well, that's the
in
case of that is it, right? That's good. That's good. That you are recalling the lessons on the circle of knowledge. Okay, so when you see something you've never seen before, your brain doesn't recognize it, so you kind of paralyzed, and all you know is you just receive it as it is. But when you see something that you already have a preconceived notion of it, what do we call it? We call it recognize. You know the word recognize? Recognize is two words. Okay, recognize means recognize. Cognize or cognizant means to know.
I see.
Recognize means to know again. You have just come to know this again. You have a preconceived
Oh.
notion of it until you come to know it again. However, here we are talking about the space, the time delay from the moment that you your eyes see it to the moment that you recognize it, recognize it. There is a time delay, realistically, physically, from a scientific material perspective, that there is a delay between the moment that you perceive it, the moment that the light reaches your eye, to the moment that you recognize it as a pen. Can we agree with that? Even though it's so short, it is such a short, it is a split second that we feel like, oh, boom, we emotion right away.
Right.
Right. You know, for the people who are very analytical, they start to think, oh, okay, that's a pen, that's a round pen instead of a great, square pen, that's a marker instead of that's an analytical. So their mind jumps in before the emotion. But other people, like you mentioned, you feel some kind of emotion, react right away. But the truth is, it is always the case that we actually sense it before our mind and our emotion jumps in. It is just so that we are so used to being charged up by our emotion, our mind, that we forget that there is, in fact, that delay. Next.
Oh, I got it.
Next, we're going to talk about how we extend that delay so that we can be more cognizant of this truth within ourselves. And there's a benefit to recognizing this truth within ourselves, that emptiness, that welcoming receive, okay, and it's getting us closer and closer to the state of serenity, okay. So that was a definition of a person of wisdom is a person who has lived with the truth within themselves, meaning we know that we recognize that I am already seeing and I am already hearing before I am seeing and I'm hearing something. You get that part? I am already seeing and I'm already hearing before I see or I hear something. We see this before we see it as a pen. Can we agree on that? We see, in fact, even if it's not our seeing, our already always seeing is there before we see something. Okay. Next is the okay. So how do we activate the emptiness of being? Right. We were talking about this sense of emptiness, that welcoming receive. How do we activate the emptiness of being? See, because when we activate the emptiness of being, and we hear with the true seeing, and we see with the true seeing, then we have officially entered level 3 awareness. How do we lengthen that time between perceiving this and then thinking and feeling about it? Okay, we use, ready? We use the graph. Okay, so imagine this is a river. We're trying to cross the river. This is a river, and we have a raft over here. We borrow somebody's bamboo wooden raft. Okay, the bamboo raft, nice little raft. And we're trying to cross the river, go over there in that shore. And this is called the raft of hearing and seeing. Okay, it's called a raft of hearing and seeing. Okay, this raft is for you, Marianne. Are you still there? Okay, this is my gift to you tonight. I'm giving you a wooden bamboo raft. It is called the raft of hearing and seeing. And on the other shore is a shore of serenity and tranquility. Okay, This is a graph of hearing and seeing. Whenever we receive any information, instead of letting the mind start to analyze or let the emotion start to feel and react, we borrow the graph of true hearing and true seeing. And how do we do that? We simply say, I know I hear, and I know I see. I know I'm hearing, and I know I'm seeing. Any information right now, even right now, I'm talking, Frank is talking, talking, and you guys are sitting there. Before you start to analyze what I'm saying, before you start analyze what Frank is saying, before you start reacting to what the pictures, say to yourself, I know I'm hearing, I know I'm seeing. And see if you can get that true hearing and the true seeing, the already always hearing and the already always seeing within you. Never mind what you see. What you see is already the mind, it's already emotion. What you see is already level 1. In order to be at level 3, all you have to do is instantly start to notice, oh, I'm hearing and I'm seeing. I know I'm hearing, I know I'm seeing. All right? Just take a moment and just kind of notice that you're always hearing and you're always seeing something. Not something. When you see something, when the something jumps in, it is the mind that determines it is something. Notice the hearing and notice the seeing. Can you, anybody
So
get?
I have to stop.
Hmm?
So I have to stop for a second.
Yeah, you can stop. See if you can stop thinking for a second. Instead of thinking and analyzing and feeling, focusing on just the fact that I'm hearing and the fact that I'm seeing. And see if you can extend that space of hearing and seeing without judgment, without thinking, without feeling. And if you are able to extend that space, what you're going to experience is something called a state of emptiness of being.
As soon as you see an object, though, your mind is already analyzing it, right?
Your space is so, that's your space, your time space is so short. You
Yes.
jump right into the mind. Okay, so allow it. First of all, we allow it. Okay. Not everybody, naturally has a state of awareness. That's why we're all practicing and we're learning. Okay. Those who already have this state level 3 awareness, they don't need this. This is just a tool. This is borrowing, the graph. So when I'm holding this up, allow yourself, by the time, oh, that's a pen, that's too late. That's okay. It's too late because we're, all of us are still level 1. You can go back and practice. Okay, I know I'm seeing, I know I'm hearing, and see if you can suspend the judgment and identification of that thing. Not even a thing, that.
So if you can just hear and see
I'm hearing,
without
I'm seeing.
anything else, you're in
Stop.
serenity and tranquility.
Yeah, I'm hearing, I'm seeing. I know I'm hearing, I know I'm seeing. I already always know hearing, already always seeing. And you see if you can extend that space. And if you can extend that space, then you experience a sense of emptiness. Emptiness. There's no mind involved. There's no emotion. It is empty. And the longer you can extend that space, the closer you're gonna get to the shore of serenity and tranquility. If you fall off the raft, then you are back in the chaos of the mind and the emotion.
Right, but then the people looking at me like I'm a weirdo, like when I say something, I just like, oh, okay, let me analyze, not really analyze, but like,
It is,
okay,
yeah.
what, okay, just here, just,
In a situation with another person, right? Sometimes they expect you to respond. Okay,
mhm.
it is weird to say nothing. In fact, if you stay in the emptiness for too long, you don't do anything and you contribute no value to society. A person of wisdom is able to instantaneously realize that they are hearing and they are seeing just for a split second. During that split second, you reach a state of serenity and tranquility. And the benefit of serenity and tranquility and emptiness of being is you have clarity and lightness. Just even for a split second, you experience serenity, tranquility, emptiness, and lightness, then whatever you respond next, level 1 or level 2 becomes clear. And how you respond to another person will be wiser. It will be the better choice than if you do it without. Imagine somebody call you stupid, okay, or whatever, something really negative and make us offended. And instantly we jump to emotion and we respond by getting angry. We may curse them back. Before we know, we're in a conflict. We're fighting. Verbal war, right? There's insult you insult back. And for some reason, some people cannot control the emotion, they get physical. So from verbal war, you get to physical war. All because humanity has not reached a state of serenity, tranquility, and emptiness. And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be minutes or hour long. It only need to be a few seconds. But within that few seconds, if you allow yourself emptiness, then what comes next can be a proactive choice. We can choose, root cause of life begins with me. I can choose however I need to respond. I don't need to respond with anger, or if I need to respond with anger, I can still respond with anger with a certain limit. Your next choice becomes clearer, becomes wiser. You make a better choice.
Right. So you apply this, whatever, learning, only to the negative situation, right? Like to a negative comments.
That's when, well, if you experience a lot of negativity in life, that means we have accumulated a lot of, bad seed in terms of our subconscious, in terms of the thing that we've done to other people. But if we are not in any negative situation, then those are wonderful times for us to practice. When nobody's around, just practice noticing that I'm hearing and I'm seeing. When we're at work on a computer, when nobody's talking to us, just notice, oh, I'm on a computer. And better than that, don't notice that I'm on a computer, I'm just there. Because the computer, that's already an attachment to some identity. Okay?
Right, but the male and female brains, function differently, right? Men can only do one thing at a time, but women are multitasking. I mean, we typing, but our mind was like, okay. Even though, we typing, but we thinking, oh, what I'm going to eat or what. So is that true that, men are only super, focus, women are not,
What is the purpose of that statement?
So I was saying that, okay, I think I practice that in the negative situation, but when people accomplish me, and I just like, I don't know what to say. You're like, okay, because it took me so long to like go. I know what I hear, okay, and then I realize, oh, that's a positive thing. And then by the time I know it's positive, instead of saying thank you or anything, I just like, oh, and they look at me like, what's wrong with you? So now in my choirs, I noticed the choir members, they don't accomplish me anymore, because when they accomplish something, my hair, my dress, I just look at them and then I don't know what to say. Instead of, usually before learning this concept, I just, oh yeah, thank you. But now I don't even say thank you. I just like, I look at them mentally.
The point
Oh.
is, did you feel inner peace at that time? If
Yeah,
you're not-
I feel peace, but then later I said, man, why I'm so weird? I'm a weirdo. Like, I don't like being it's not like I know I'm beautiful or pretty or well. No, I know I'm not, I'm good looking, but not that, like, beautiful, whatever they say. But
once again, the point is not to stay in the emptiness of being all the time. Because if we are, then we're not contributing any value to them. Right? When
Right, so
when
that's
somebody
my-
compliment you, just give yourself a split second of emptiness. Realize that you are hearing and you are seeing before hearing and seeing something. Right? They could say something nice or not nice, but realize that you are hearing and you are seeing even before that. After you realize that you're hearing and you're seeing, then you can start to process what they say and then respond. Remember, we are a person of wisdom, level 3. You have 1 and 2 in your pocket. You can respond with thank you. Oh, thank you. You are also very nice. You can give them the gift of your speech. Right? Don't stay in here all the time. Yeah, that sounds weird, and they're not going to contribute any value to people.
I forgot to
Don't
do
stay
that.
in the you are now a person of level 3. You have in your toolbox 3 levels of wisdom to choose from. You have 3 system of reference to work with. Mental images, positive deeds for people, good source concept. So yeah, in that moment, when somebody compliment you, allow yourself a moment of serenity and inner peace, and then respond. Respond by creating positive images about that person. Respond in such a way that improve your virtue and your good deed. Right? You see how you see how wisdom level 3 give you more option to choose from, more freedom. And the freedom comes from not being entangled by the emotion and the mind. Because if and when we choose to say something, or if and when we choose to react something, then those things that we choose to react and say, they come from choice. Choice that comes from wisdom. Wisdom that comes from emptiness. It's different than a person who just instantly react. Because we could say wrong thing, and we do that all the time when we react without thinking. It is
I don't do that
useful,
anymore.
right? Right?
And then in a positive way too. Okay, I have to remember.
Okay. Yeah, Jenny, thank you for raising your hand. Would you care to question or share something?
Thank you so much, Mr. Vương.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Yes, first thing I want to say Happy New Year
Thank you to
to
you.
everyone. I impressed so much about 3 levels of wisdom. The first level 1, react. Whatever happened to us, we react with our emotion. Is a level 1, right? And the level 2.
No, not necessarily. So don't confuse between the different level of awareness and the 3 layers.
Layer.
Okay? So when we're talking about these layers, we're talking about the human construct. We have the inner layer, which is the inner being, which is the truth within ourselves. We have the level of the mind, which is made up of the 16 personality. Do you remember that, the human construct? The big circle with a lot of personality. And then we
Yes,
have
I want to,
emotion. These are layered. They are not necessarily corresponding to the different levels of awareness.
so I want to to say something to understand more. So how I react or how I respond, everything happen right around me. It depends on my awareness. So with level 1, I know it's right or wrong. So I know that if I react like this or like that, it's wrong or right, or true or false, or good or bad. It's like when I teach my children, if you do this, it's wrong. And the first level for children, because they don't know deeply meaning, they only react like they imitate others. Right. So for example, when I touch the fire, it's hot. So another time I know I should not touch the fire again. It's about my awareness something is harmful or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So about level 2.
So first of all, with level 1 awareness, okay, with awareness, you just know that there are right and wrong. You just know they are good and bad. Okay, you just know that they are should or should not. That is just level 1 awareness. We gain that awareness, we gain that knowledge through experience, through being taught in school, through being taught by our parent. Okay, we acquire that level of awareness through experience and lessons. Okay, just knowing and right or wrong doesn't necessarily mean we're going to choose right over wrong. We're not going to choose should or should not. It takes a proactive choice. The proactive choice is called wisdom. So when you teach your children that it's wrong, that it's bad to put your hand in the fire, you also should teach them to, be safe with fire. You have to not only teach them the difference between the right and wrong, but we have to teach them to choose the right. We have
Yeah.
to choose,
So the first level
teach
is
them to
about
choose the
choosing.
good. Okay.
Yeah. It's about the little kids. They know
Okay.
only the level 1 level
Little
1
kids, they have awareness and they
awareness.
also have
Yeah,
wisdom.
they choose.
They can choose. Yeah,
how
they
to
can choose.
react. Is
Right.
wrong or not?
Yeah, they can choose.
All
Yeah.
right. Oh, okay.
And the
So-
irony is even adult, sometimes even adult don't even
Yeah.
have the wisdom level 1.
Yeah,
Right? You
sometimes
see adult, yeah,
sometimes our behaviors it's
Yeah,
it's
like
rules.
children. Sometimes adults behave worse than children, right?
Okay.
Sometimes we see adults behave worse than children. And in that case, we say, oh, they have no wisdom. Yeah. Right? Little kid, they can choose to do right over wrong, yet there are adults who will choose wrong. So those adults have no wisdom. It's like we know that smoking is bad for our health, but we smoke anyway. Right? Okay, so first of all, you understand the difference between awareness and wisdom. Awareness is just meaning having and knowing the right and wrong. Wisdom is choosing the right over wrong, choosing over the good over bad. Okay. Any
I
other
got it.
questions?
Level 1.
That's
It's
level 1.
about-
That's just level 1. Isn't it wonderful just to have? Imagine what the world would be like if all we have was level 1. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody just choose to do the right thing. Wow, what a wonderful world that is. But sometimes it's difficult. Okay, even adult, we have difficulty choosing right over wrong and good over bad because we are often too entangled in the emotion in the mind. We don't give ourselves enough space to sort of rest and be at peace before we choose how we react. And so often we will react negatively. Often we will behave poorly because we forget there is this truth within us. There's this light of being, which is emptiness of positive and negative charges. And so,
So, yeah,
okay,
a lot of people, I think, in the world, a lot of people know, maybe right or wrong. Some people don't awareness, or maybe they know when
mhm,
something is wrong, but still do it.
mhm. Most people know the right or wrong, okay? But many people have difficulty choosing right all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
For people who don't know the right or wrong, in the Western, especially in the American legal justice department, it's called insanity.
Yeah,
If a
yeah.
criminal, okay, let's say a criminal, commits murder or something like that, and it goes into court, right? The police arrested them, they go into court, and if the lawyer is able to prove that the person doesn't know right or wrong, that they have no level 1 awareness.
So with a level 1, it's a basic level that people react by the way they want. It's not so I see many people, even me, for example, I know that reading books every day is good, or do exercise every day is good my health. I know it's right. If I lazy to do exercise, but still level choosing, right? I choose to do exercise every day or not. I'm still lazy. So if I want to make a discipline to exercise every day, I should go to aware something deeply, like level 2 or
Sometimes wisdom level 1 makes it still difficult to choose to do the right thing over the wrong thing, right? Sometimes it is difficult because we do not have enough wisdom, we do not have enough virtue and merit, okay? We'll talk a little bit more and why that is and how we can overcome those difficult times where we know that we should do something, but we can't do it, okay? So that is why we're going to learn about level 2 and level 3. Level 2 helps us recognize that the root cause of life begins with me. You remember when we talk about the root cause of life, we talked about the choices in life bring about the outcome that we have today. And we come to an awareness of that choice and that outcome, then it becomes a little bit more simple to choose to do the right thing. Oftentimes we cannot choose to do the right thing because we don't see that our action will bring about the outcome that we have. But if we can see causality, we can see that if we keep on, eating poorly and not exercise, then we're going to get the kind of outcome that we have in life in terms of our health. Then if we can see that, exercising and eating healthy and then positive mental images, it's going to give me the kind of health and body physique that I want, then that makes it a little bit more simple to make the right decision. With level 2, you have two tools. You have the ability to choose right and wrong, and you have this energy that arise out of the recognition that the root cause of life begins with me. You take ownership of your life.
like
yeah.
I understand that with level 2, I see result. I see outcome, right?
Yeah.
My outcome about my body is weak.
Mhm.
If I don't do exercise every day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So if we want to make the right choice, then you can begin.
so I turn my
Begin.
my choicing. It's right to do exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And make a wristband. I make a goal and do exercise every day.
There you go. Okay. You want to start by creating positive mental images. Write down what health look like. What did me being healthy and strong look like? That's mental images. Remember, we talked about the triangle of reality of health. There is the mental health, there's a physical health, and there's a social health.
Okay.
Physical
get
health,
more-
remember, strength,
I get more knowledge
more
about
knowledge, yeah, favorable
health.
source concept, positive mental images, and good virtue and merit, helping other people.
Good.
You start to see it?
Health had about mental health, physical health,
There you go. Uh-huh.
relationships,
Yeah, okay.
society.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's level 2. Okay, that's level 2 wisdom. So let's see if we can just review that for your sake. For my sake too. I still work on my own health. Okay, so we can help each other. So if we remember, so this is we're gonna apply level 2. We're gonna apply level 2 when with respect to our health. Okay, so let's say health, and we're gonna draw a triangle of reality of health. Okay, so we have mental. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? Physical.
Yes.
Sorry, this is in the wrong order. Hang on, let's do it again. I think the order is okay. Health. Okay, so this is the mental. This is the physical. There you go. We always put the physical on the bottom right. Okay, and then this is the social. Social health, mental health. Okay, mental health. Remember, we have we can use the oops, my pen's all over the place. We have positive mental images. You can start painting a picture of what positive mental images look like. We have positive attitude. Okay, and that is serenity, magnanimity. All of these are intangible, all of these are attitude, and honoring gratitude. Okay, that's the mental. If a person has positive mental images about their own health, if they maintain an attitude of serenity, magnanimity, honoring gratitude, being grateful about everything and everybody, being tolerant and generous about other people, which is magnanimity, and serenity, which is what we're learning here, then they are going to have a very strong mental health. Okay. From the physical, I mean, from a physical health, what does your strength look like? How many kilos or how many pounds can you lift? Speed, how fast can you run? Stamina, how long can you go? Flexibility, right? How much can you stretch your legs and your arm? Flexibility, stability or balance. All of this, we take ownership of our own health. We take, this is level 2. Of course, level 2 involves level 1 and 2, right? We know what's right and what's wrong. Social health, right? This is pretty simple. We have, we have family. We have, we have organization. And we have, let's say world, okay? Are we in harmonious relationship with our family members? Do we like our coworkers and our boss in our organization? Are we contributing to our world? That's health. Using level 2, which include positive mental images, positive attitude, and doing the right thing with respect to all of this, which require level 1 and level 2. It's because when it comes to actual action, that's level 1 action. Okay, every level of a wisdom is just an awareness. Level 2 wisdom is just an awareness, but in order to actually bring it about into reality, we have to perform an action, and that action is, level 1 wisdom. You proactively choose to do something. Any question about how we can use level 2 with respect to our health now?
Yeah. When with level 2, we see we know about knowledge exactly health, strong health, like this about mental, physical, societies, about clear image, about health body. So we decide to do exercise every day, or read books, or join course, etc. Many things to have a good health like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, source concepts. It's we know about source
Yeah,
concepts.
it's positive, favorable source concept. When you think about physical health, when you think about health, and we think about nothing but disease, and we have nothing but information about illnesses, then that's not favorable source concept. Information, source concept is information. What do we know about health? What do we believe about health? What do we understand about health? Those are our source concept. Mental images, what do we hear and what do we see? How do we talk about it? What do we know about it? What kind of attitude we maintain about health?
With level 2, that we have a clear picture about health body.
Yeah.
Like,
The clearer the
we
picture,
know exactly how to do it to
Yeah.
reach the goal about body, healthy body.
Yeah. So if you have clear mental images about your physical strength, about your speed, your stamina, your flexibility, your balance, if you have a good source concept about how to become strong, how to become fast, how to become, have a lot of stamina, how to become flexible, and how to become balanced, you have good source concept. And if your attitude is great about all of that, then yeah, you're going to have a physical reality of a good health. And if doing it by yourself is difficult, then you have to involve your family, your organization in the world. Help them achieve greater health, and thereby collect positive energy, and thereby you will eventually reach a state of health as well.
Okay, so is that enough for level 2?
You want more? I think we can talk all day. We can talk. Okay, but let's move on to level 3, so that we can go back to.
I know it's about method, about the skills, about the tips to it. I know knowledge, but I need I know the way to fix. It's about professional, skillful to do it.
Okay, that's fine. We're all learning. Okay, and as we learn, And as we practice, we're going to get good at it. Okay. And here, even though level 2 awareness says that level 2 awareness and wisdom say that we are going to proactively take control of our own health, it requires us to have good positive mental images, good positive attitude. But inside of attitude, you need serenity. And serenity has to do with wisdom. Because it's not possible to experience serenity without understanding the true hearing and true seeing. Some people don't need this if they already have the fortune and the grace, right? Some people don't need it. They are already fortunate. They're already fortunate to have good mental attitude. They're already at peace, right? That's why we call them fortunate or blessed. For those of us who are trying to get there, then we have to use the tool. We're not there yet. If we're already there, then we don't need the tool. Some people are just naturally peaceful. They're just naturally magnanimous. But for us, for those of us who are trying to change our life, right? People who already have serenity, they don't need to change anything. But for those of us who are still trying to work at ourselves, improving ourselves, right? This is personal development, personal improvement. We're trying to work, then we need the tools. We use the wrap of hearing and seeing in order to reach a state of emptiness and serenity. When we think about our own mental health, if we have any negative thoughts, any negative emotion, use the wrap. So that we can bypass the emotion and the mind, stay on the raft, don't fall down into the, the water, the river of chaos. Use the raft so that we can experience true emptiness, serenity, and tranquility.
So I aware something new for me. How we respond depend on our emotion, mind. We see, we know what we see, we know what we hear, we know what we speak. Without humans can't react without emotion or mind. But we choose emotions, like positive emotion or positive mindset to react.
You can choose positive emotion. You can choose positive mindset. Yes.
Yeah, because
that is level 1.
I'm not robot.
Yeah.
I have emotion.
Yeah.
I have mindset.
However,
but I can choose how to react. Like I want, not like a random. Not I react like how to say that my choosing.
Yeah.
When I have a problem, I am angry with that, but how to react after that depend on me. I choose about positive react about that. So I had to know right, wrong, and I had the knowledge about level 2, deeply understand the knowledge. So I decide my emotion or mindset is the right way to react. That's about less consequences.
But here's the thing. Has any of us been in a situation where somebody or some event make us feel very negative? And we know that we should respond positively, but we can't. Is anybody in a situation where we know what we are so angry or we're so negative and we should respond positively or we should feel positive, but we can't? We are not fortunate enough to experience the positive, even though we know. Right? And how do we do that? So many times we want to change our mindset. So many times we want to change our emotion. So many times we want to change our habit, but we can't.
Oh,
Technically
I
twice,
know. I
right?
know. That because we are human and some human had actually we have a limitation about
Yeah,
knowledge.
limitation. It is simply this.
Oh,
All we
that's
got to
why
do
we have to go to level
Level
3.
three.
Okay. We
You
go
need
to
to
level
erase the
3.
negativity before we can put the positive, because we are so low in
Mm.
energy. It is so negative. It's pulling us down. It is like it's like trying to swim and have an anchor of a heavy weight pulling us down onto the bottom.
Oh, yes.
We have to cut that weight,
I aware the
climb onto the
important
raft.
lessons
You have to climb on back to the raft.
about emptiness of
Yeah.
inner being. So I when I go to myself to level 3, that empathy about inner being. So I can aware something is right or wrong. I
Well,
know
you are
my
already
angry.
aware. You're already aware, right or wrong. You just
Oh.
can't choose the right because we don't have enough energy, right? We know what's right. We know what the right thing to do. We know what the right way to react. We know what the right way to think. We know how we should emotion wise, but we can't do it because we don't have enough energy. The only way to do that, and we can't from a negative energy state, it's impossible to become positive unless we jump to balance. So emptiness of being has a benefit. Okay, where my has a benefit
So-
of
So I
balance.
think I want to say more about a healthy body.
Okay.
Like I choose to run or go to the gym or do yoga. But I don't know exactly it's suitable for me. It's a method suitable for me. So I had to listen my body. What I need to do is right for me. So I go to the emptiness of being. I listen my body, right?
I wouldn't listen to my body. The body is a very low energy state. Don't
So
listen
I
to your
choose
body.
the right method.
The
I
body is
do
gonna make you
yoga
want to be
or
lazy.
run or
Okay, the body is gonna make you want to be lazy because the body is a low energy state, right? And if we don't have enough energy to want to exercise, then we need to raise our level of energy to ultra high, which is state of balance. Okay, so the benefit of level 3 awareness is number one, clarity of judgment. And it is a balanced state of energy. And it's a state of serenity and tranquility. We basically let go, which is the other one. So let's talk about serenity. Okay, I think it'll help us being able to move from that negative state to the positive state. So basically when, first of all, okay. Let me think. Let me think. Okay, we were talking emptiness. All right. Level 3 wisdom. So this is another way. So if the raft, doesn't work, there's another way of going about it. Okay. So let me see if we can call to your attention this idea. When we talk about the state of emptiness, okay, it is important to realize the following. See if another way to help us achieve a state of balance and emptiness. There is an idea called, so we already talked about emptiness of being. Okay, emptiness of being. And then there is something called emptiness of meaning. Emptiness of being talks about our inner being. Okay, this is our inner being. That layer, that central layer, the truth within us. Okay, it came from the human construct frame of reference. Emptiness of being talks about our inner being. And then there's this idea of emptiness of meaning. This applies to all things, including ourselves as a person. It came from the root cause formula. Okay. So do remember when we use this example, right? We ask what is this? And we say this is, Jenny, go ahead, what is this? Or Marianne or G Lam.
It's a maker.
It's a marker, right?
Yeah.
It's a marker or a pen because we write or we mark with it. Now, if a puppy dog were to see the same thing, what would the puppy dog think it is? Puppy dog being a pretty intelligent animal, very close to human being as well.
The dog say maybe a bone or a toy.
Right, the puppy dog might think it is a bone or a toy, and it may chew on it or play with it. Okay, so you and I, we think this is a marker or pen because we write or mark with it. A puppy dog may see that as a bone or a pen, and it'll play or chew on it. Now, if I put this down and I leave the room, you leave the room, and the puppy dog also leave the room. What is this then?
It's nothing.
It is nothing. Okay?
It's
It is
like a
nothing.
toy.
Huh?
If we can
For puppy dogs. For puppy dogs, it's like a toy for it.
Yeah, but if the puppy dog is not in the room, okay, you and I, we leave the room. The dog runs away. Nothing is in the room to perceive this. Then this is nothing.
It's nothing. Yes.
Right. It is nothing not because it doesn't exist. It exists. It's right there. But it's nothing because there is no observer perceiving it. Okay? It's nothing because no observer is perceiving it. Now, you and I, we come back to the room, we pick this up, and we see this as a marker or pen. Same time, puppy dogs run back in the room, it'll start to play with it or chew on it. It would think of it as a toy or bone. So the question is, are you and I right, or is the puppy dog right?
No one right. It's up
No
to
one-
yeah, it's up to everybody.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we're all correct, we're all right, or no one is right. Yes, and then Jilam said it is up to the perceiver, it is up to the observer that determine what this is.
So
Okay, so this next part is important. What this is, okay, what this is it because this from the outside determine what it is in here, in our mind, or is it from inside us that determine what this is? What this is it from the outside determining what it is inside our mind, or is it from our mind that determine what this is.
Depend on our experience. The human is a pen, as the dog is a
Now,
bone.
Does this thing decide what it is, or do we, our mind, decide what it is?
Mind.
Our mind decide what it is.
Right.
Our preconceived notion decide what it is. Our mental images decide what it is. If we've seen it before, we happen to recognize it. We just know it again. We decide what it is. By itself, it doesn't decide what it is. Because if it decided it is a pen, then the dog would also pick up and write. A dog would write a love letter to his girlfriend. A dog would, start to draw on this paper. But the dog doesn't do that because the dog has a different preconceived notion of what it is. Okay, so there's a saying that the essence of all things is empty of meaning. All things are empty of meaning. The nature of all things is empty of meaning. That's why we say it is emptiness of meaning. All things is empty of meaning. And they only become meaningful when an observer, our preconceived notion, place an identity on it, place a meaning on it. All things, including ourselves. So if I am no one, right? Because this thing is empty of meaning, because it is nothing, it has a potential to become what? Anything. Depending on who observing it. Because this is nothing, it has a potential to become anything. That's powerful to realize that. Because this is empty of meaning, it can become anything.
Could
And
that
so-
also come from our hearing? Because at some point in our life, somebody told us that that was a pen.
Yeah. So hearing or seeing is part of our mental images. Okay. It is our preconceived notion that decide what it is. But if we can change that hearing or seeing, we can change that mental image that this can become something else. This can become money. Right? Instead of writing with this, I can mass produce this and sell it and make a lot of money. I have just changed the meaning of this thing into the dollar, the money. Because its essence is empty of meaning, it can become anything that we choose it to become. And the essence of all things is empty of meaning. That includes all things, including ourselves. So if I am no one, then I can potentially become anyone. But if I'm already someone, then I can't become anyone else. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
If I'm no one, then I can potentially become anyone. But if I am already someone, then I can't become anybody else.
Unless
And
you achieve something else. If you have
See?
another goal set and you want to become something else, then you become someone again. And once you achieve that, you're nothing
Right.
again.
But if I'm already someone,
Yeah.
and you don't let go of that someoneness, if we don't let go of that identity, for example, if I am a sick person, then it's going to be a little harder to become a person.
Mhm.
If I'm a poor person, then it's going to be harder to become rich. But if I realize that I'm no one, then in instant, I can realize, oh, I can be healthy, I can be rich, I can be happy, I can be serene and peace. And so the benefit of level 3 awareness or level 3 wisdom is being no one. That's actually a benefit, because being no one, then we can become anyone, including a happy person, a healthy person.
So someone asked, who are you? I can answer, I'm not anyone.
Well, you apply the ref. Give it a moment before you apply, before you reply. Give it a moment. Notice your hearing, notice your seeing, and then you can choose your reply. Whatever reply you choose next, it's going to be better than if you do it without emptiness. Your answer is going to be better. You're going to be wiser. You're going to be more clear. Right? If your son asks you, who are you? What are you? Then you can choose to say, I'm your mother, or you can choose, I'm your teacher. I'm your mentor.
So
I'm
in the so at step 3, level 3, we need a while before answering something.
Just give yourself a split moment. Just stop for a moment. Go to
Yeah.
emptiness. And then the next answer is usually going to be a little bit better than if you just immediately write that example. If your son asks you, who are you? You can just automatically say, I'm your mother. But if you give a moment, I'm your teacher. I'm your mentor. I'm your benefactor. I'm the one who point your way to a better life. You see how powerful that is?
Yeah.
By allowing yourself that moment of emptiness, then your next answer opens a big possibility. I'm your best friend. But without it, then our emotion and our mind jumps in, and we are trapped by that identity, and we are, we're trapped and we can't be free. Okay? So the next definition of a person of level 3 wisdom is someone who lives in the present moment. Okay? What does that mean? The person who lives in the present moment. It means a person who lives in the present moment is a person who can answer 3 important questions of life. 3 important questions of life. Okay. Number 1, who is the most important person in my life? Okay. Next one. When is the most important time of my life? And number 3, what is the most important thing to do with my life? So, Ilam, who's the most important person in your life?
For me,
The person in front of you.
it's a little bit difficult to answer.
Marianne, who's the most important person in your life?
Me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
because I have to value myself first. I have
like
to
that.
love myself first before I know how to love other people and value other people.
Okay.
That's how,
What
that's my concept.
what level of wisdom or awareness did that came from?
Maybe the level 1 awareness. I'm still stuck at level 1. I can move on.
The person, okay, thank you for sharing that. I love it. Okay. The answer to the person of level 3 wisdom. Okay. The person of level 3 wisdom is a person who lives in the present moment and who can answer the 3 important questions of life. If you're living in the present moment, then really the most important person in your life is the person in front of you or with you at that person front. Okay, with that person. Okay, and a person who lives in the moment can answer the question, when is the most important time of my life? Ilam, when is the most important time of your life?
I
Now,
think it's present
The present, exactly. The now. Okay, just gonna say that.
now.
Yeah, the now. And with that, what is the most important thing to do with your life? If you are a level 3 person of wisdom, what is the most important thing to do with your life?
Make me being peaceful.
Good question. Okay, good question. But in order to do that, what you need to do is you want to relate to the person in front of you. Okay, in other words, you care. Oops. Care. You just care about the person in front of you. That is a person of level 3 wisdom. Who is the most important person in my life right now? Is the person that is in front of me right now. Because if you're right here and you're thinking about somebody else, then you're not here. If our mind and our emotion is about somebody else, then you're actually not here. You're living in a fantasy. You're thinking about what's happening somewhere else. You're not in the present moment. You're not here. Do you get that? When we relate to another person, you have to pay attention to the person who is in front of us. Whatever they're saying, whatever they look like, we use our true hearing and true seeing, and we see them. What is the most important time of my life? The now, the present. Because the past is, you can't control the past, it's already gone. We can't really do anything about the future. If we're thinking about the future, we're planning. But if we're planning, that we're actually not existing in the now. And the most important thing to do with your life is to care about that person in front of you. And this is a person of level 3 wisdom. This gives you the serenity and the tranquility that we're looking for. Yeah, chị Giang Thị Thu Thảo said the opposite person, So if you're in this Zoom right now, okay, and if you are in the Zoom right now and you are people of level 3 wisdom, then I am grateful to you because you have given your complete attention to this class, to myself, to other people in the Zoom. And you're interacting, you are being in the moment, and you are relating. We are relating to each other. We are caring about each other's questions and answer. We are giving each other the gift of our speech, the gift of our appearance, and we are actually accumulating positive energy in our virtue account and our intellectual merit account. Right? For some people, this is easier than using the ref. Just be in the moment with the person, give them your whole entire being. In the remember in the lesson of the circle of knowledge, we talk about how to listen. Right, there is the art of listening. You listen with our ears, with our eyes, with our whole being, our heart, in unity with our heart. Okay. Person of level 3 wisdom is at peace with the person in front of them. It's caring for the person in front of them. Okay. And what's the best way to do that without letting our emotion and our mind take over? Okay. So these are the characteristics of a person of level 3 awareness. Is that you happen to notice the hearing, notice the seeing, notice, right? If somebody is saying or doing something, you notice them saying, and you notice that you're hearing and you're seeing them. If we are speaking, this is a little bit more advanced. Notice the speaking. When was the last time that we speak and we actually notice that we are speaking? Or are we so engaged in the speaking that we don't even know what we're talking, much less know what we're talking about? It is the noticing of the speaking. Notice the speaking. It is like another person watching the speaking, the doing and speaking. It is a level of awareness that your awareness of yourself, that your awareness that you're speaking, and then after this you will notice the knowing. We know, but we know that we know. That's different than from a person just know information and then they just kind of spit it out. This is a new level of awareness that I'm trying to open up with for you guys. You notice that you're speaking, you notice that you actually know. Okay. And if you can do all that, you can be no one. You can live in the present moment. And if you just notice or know the hearing and notice the seeing and notice the speaking and notice the knowing, okay, and you have a benefit. Okay, there's always benefit. We achieve the benefit of being very balanced. We don't let the emotion, our mind take over. We are very balanced. We're high in energy. We experience a state of serenity and tranquility. Okay. And so, if that is the case, if we are, so far we have talked about the information corner of wisdom, 5 levels of awareness. 1, 2, 3. We'll talk about 4 and 5 later. We don't even need to talk about 4 and 5, but we will later. All you need is level 1, 2, and 3 levels of awareness information. And if we can rotate among level 1, level 2, level 3 when needed, being at level 3 only for an instant, experience that clarity, experience that serenity, so that we can respond in a way that is wise and positive, even choose emotion that is wise and positive. Then what happened is we activate the energy of wisdom. And let's use green, so since it's green. So when it comes to energy aspect of wisdom, we have just already activated one energy, called serenity. Next week, we're going to talk about, next week we'll talk about magnanimity. And then eventually we will talk about honoring gratitude. Okay, the triangle of reality of wisdom. Remember when we said when we have a good source concept, when we have favorable source concept, then we will arise equivalent energy and we will give rise to the physical manifestation. By learning about the 5 level of awareness, we have received favorable source concept, favorable information about wisdom. And we have activated the energy of wisdom. Okay. And so let's talk a little bit about serenity. The energy of wisdom is serenity, magnanimity, and honoring gratitude. So now we're going to talk about serenity. Let's use okay. So we also use the triangle of reality, wonderful tool. Okay. I'm going to draw the triangle of reality again. Remember that the triangle of reality, we have the physical or material. We have the energy aspect. And we have the information owner. If serenity is to be our physical manifestation, serenity, in order to get to the physical manifestation of serenity, what we need is the truth within. Notice the hearing, notice the seeing, notice the speaking, and notice the knowing. Our true hearing, our true seeing, the wrath, all that stuff, the truth within. If we do that, if we have that, and we can give rise to the energy, which is the state of emptiness of being. State of emptiness, very balanced, very high. Serenity, yeah. Inner peace. Okay. So serenity is one aspect of the energy of wisdom. We need wisdom in order to experience inner peace. Right? When you think about, peaceful people, wise people, have you ever met any wise, usually person? It doesn't have to be an old person. Last time we talked about an old person wise. Not all old person are wise and not wise person are old. But when we meet a person of wisdom, we often find that they carry this energy of peace with them. Right? That is a physical manifestation that we can sense it, we can feel it. Okay, the physical manifestation of serenity, it came from a state of being that is empty. They are not tied down by their emotion and their mind, they're just at peace. And they recognize that they are hearing and that they are seeing, that they are speaking and that they are knowing. Okay, when we realize the truth within, right? When we realize that our true hearing and our true seeing, okay, then we activate the energy of emptiness of being, which then manifests itself in a physical, material way that people can sense as inner peace or serenity. And so serenity is the energy of wisdom. It is also the energy of inner peace. Okay, so let's talk some more about serenity. There's a benefit to being at peace. Okay, there's a great benefit to being at peace. There's a great benefit to achieving a state of inner emptiness. Before that, let's work on this idea called joy. Okay, joy. Joy, happiness. Okay, joy has two sources of joy. On the one hand, most people are familiar with is, let's use a different color. Let's use this one. Pleasure. Joy derives from pleasure. Okay, what is this joy derived from pleasure? Has anybody ever experienced pleasure after buying a new phone? A brand new toy, a brand new phone, or something like that, or a brand new car, right?
Or eating your favorite food.
Or eating your favorite food. Yeah, you get joy from pleasure of eating your favorite food.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
How long does that joy last?
Until you finish the whatever.
The meal. Yeah, 2 minutes, an
I'm
hour.
eating, I'm finished eating.
Okay. Yeah, few hours at
It
most.
doesn't last long. Doesn't
No,
last long.
no. Your favorite food doesn't, joy doesn't last long. But some things last longer, like your favorite toy. Okay. But some people, the new iPhone could last them a few days, few weeks. Some people are able to carry that sense of joy all the way to the next version of the iPhone. Could be, which is a year. So joy can be derived from pleasure. Okay. From a human construct perspective, pleasure is defined as satisfying desire and imagination. Satisfying desire and imagination. Okay, pleasure is satisfying desire and imagination about what? About appearances, resources, identity, sustenance, and rest. The 5 basic human needs and wants. If you satisfy your food, that is to satisfy the needs for sustenance. If after a vacation, you be very pleasure, right? You go on a vacation, you satisfy your need for rest. If you've just gotten a new hairdo, or a new dress, or a new suit, then we have just satisfied the desire for appearance. We have just gotten a promotion. Our name became famous. we have just satisfied the desire and imagination for our identity. So joy can be derived from pleasure, which is defined as satisfying our desire and imagination for resources, appearance, identity, sustenance, and rest. If any one of those 5 areas of life are satisfied, then we experience pleasure and joy. But they don't really last, huh? And oftentimes, those sources of pleasure and joy, they come from outside of us. Somebody give us food. Somebody give us a promotion. Somebody give us a vacation. They are from outside of us, and they don't last. And what happens if we don't satisfy? What happens if we don't satisfy our need for food, our need for rest, our need for resources, and our name to be recognized? What happens if we don't satisfy those 5 needs and wants?
Oh, I would be very angry.
Yeah, we get angry, we get negative. It's called pain and suffering. Right? So if joy is derived from pleasure, which is satisfaction about those 5 basic needs and wants, and when we don't get satisfied, we experience pain and suffering. And so humanity, for the last 10,000 or hundreds of thousands of years, recently somebody just found evidence of human being existing on this planet over 1 million years old. So human beings have probably been on this earth for over 1 million years. So for the past 1 million or so years, since we have exited the Garden of Eden, we've been looking for joy derived from pleasure. And when we don't get satisfied, we experience pain and loss. Fortunately, there is an alternative, okay? And that is why we are undergoing this teaching and this lesson. There is another source of joy, a source of joy that does not diminish over time, the source of joy that does not depend on external pleasure. It is a source of joy that derives from serenity, okay, and tranquility. Okay. Joy from pleasure derived from satisfaction with respect to the 5 basic human wants and needs is impermanent. It is fleeting. And its lack of satisfaction can even bring us pain and suffering. So we look around, we see everybody always chasing pleasure and satisfaction. And the result is the human race, we've been suffering because of that. But fortunately, we have learned to discover the truth within us, a simple truth, right? That we are always already hearing, always already seeing, always already speaking and knowing. And that truth, once you get it, will set you free. And we experience that freedom as serenity and tranquility. We can experience joy that arrives from serenity and tranquility despite being satisfied by pleasure or not. If we get to eat a wonderful meal, we find pleasure, we experience joy. If we don't get to eat a wonderful meal, we don't get satisfied by the needs for sustenance, we still experience joy because we can always fall back on the true seeing and true hearing. We can always go back to serenity. We have the 3 level of wisdom. Who I am is not a person who is hungry. Who I am is something beyond the lack of food. All right, level 1, level 2, level 3. If I'm no one, then I can become anyone. But if I'm a person who is hungry, then the lack of food, it's going to cause me suffering. But even with the lack of food, without satisfaction for food, for sustenance, and we have serenity and tranquility, I am no one, then I can be a person of peace, even without food. That is why the Buddha practiced fasting. That is why a lot of enlightened individuals practice fasting to experience inner peace without satisfaction of the pleasure of eating. That is why enlightened people give up fame. They give up fortune because they discovered the truth within themselves that they don't need fame and fortune. They can still experience joy without pleasure and satisfaction of the basic human needs.
Could you explain tranquility? So serenity is anguish, tranquility is, what does that mean in Vietnamese?
Thanh tịnh.
Oh, okay.
Thanh tịnh. Yeah.
Thank you.
An vui thanh tịnh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Serenity is peace. Tranquility is thanh tịnh. An unmoving inner being. Okay. Despite all the things that is happening outside.
Okay.
Despite all the chaos that's going on, despite all the pain and suffering that is going on, if we recognize the truth within ourselves, that simple truth that we're always hearing and seeing, then we can experience that space of emptiness. The longer we can extend that space of emptiness, the longer we can experience serenity and tranquility. And the longer we can experience joy. So the energy of serenity can literally erase suffering. Okay? It is the principle of light applied. It is the light of wisdom that can push away darkness of pain and suffering. And you can say that serenity is the root of true happiness. Whereas joy derived from pleasure and satisfaction is fleeting. And its opposite is dissatisfaction, pain, and suffering. Joy derived from serenity and tranquility has no opposite. It will only become dark when you turn off the light, when you forget the truth within yourself. But we can always come back to it. We never lost it. Human being, we have that truth within us. We just have to remember to apply it. Get back on the raft if we lose sight of it. Okay, and so serenity. So let's go back to the triangle. Okay, let's see if we can material. The three corner materializing serenity. Okay, so first of all, information. Okay, the truth within the information about serenity. If you want to, you can write this down. Serenity or inner peace is a state of inner awareness. Okay, serenity or inner peace is a state of inner awareness that originates from the truth within oneself. Serenity is a state of inner awareness that originates from the truth within oneself It originates from hearing, seeing, speaking, and knowing. It originates from hearing, seeing, speaking, and knowing. That is not entangled by the mind and the emotion of a person. It originates from hearing, seeing, speaking, and knowing. That is not entangled. That's a key word. Not entangled by the mind and the emotion of a person. Okay? Has to do with level 3 wisdom, right? Level 3, this is level 3 energy. And we are looking at the information corner of serenity. Serenity is a state of inner awareness that originates from the truth within oneself. It originates from hearing, seeing, speaking, and knowing. That is not entangled by the mind and the emotion of a person. Okay, not entangled. Remember that that diagram, right? It is not entangled. So level 3 wisdom, information comes in through hearing, through seeing, not entangled by the mind and the emotion. And you experience the state of serenity. Okay? So one more time, serenity is a state of inner awareness that originates from the truth within oneself. It originates from hearing, seeing, speaking, and knowing. That is not entangled by the mind and the emotion of a person. That's the information. In the energy aspect, or any energization, energization of serenity. Serenity is a state of inner awareness. Serenity is a state of inner awareness when desire and ideation about resources or appearances or identity or sustenance or rest. Serenity is a state of inner awareness when serenity is a state of inner awareness when desire and ideation, or you can say desire and imagination about resources or appearances or identity or sustenance or rest is stopped, dropped, seized, and released. Okay, that's use it. Let me think. Okay, so this is so the implement through. This is the information that we mentioned first, hearing, seeing, speaking, okay, and knowing. So the energy of serenity is a state of inner awareness when desire and ideation about resources or appearances or identity or sustenance or rest is stopped, dropped, ceased, or released. Stopped, dropped, ceased, released. When the information aspect, when we are not entangled, right? When we are not entangled by the mind and the emotion, then our desires for resources, appearance, identity, sustenance, rest is stopped, dropped, ceased, or released. Okay, that's called one word meditation. Pick any one word. next time when we encounter an event or a person who makes us feel uncomfortable, and we realize that, oh, we are entangled by our emotion and our mind, then we can give ourselves one word: stop. Drop it. Cease. Release. Let go. I use stop, drop, cease, release because it kind of rhymes, right? Buông, dừng, thôi, dứt. I didn't translate directly each word, okay? But the idea is a one-word meditation where when we become entangled by anything, if we want to reach a state of serenity, instantly disentangle ourselves by stopping it, dropping it, ceasing it, and releasing it. Kind of like a heavy burden, right? Have you ever wear a heavy backpack or heavy load and you just want to lighten up? You just drop it, put it down. If we ever have to carry grocery bags from a car or something, it's so heavy. The moment we stop, we set it down, we let it go, it becomes light. We are released. So the energy of serenity is a state of inner awareness when our desire and ideation about resources or appearances or identity or sustenance or rest is stopped, dropped, ceased, or released. The energy of serenity, okay, the energy of inner peace. It's a state of awareness where desire and ideation about resources or appearances or identity or sustenance or rest is stopped, dropped, ceased, or released. Basically, when we learn to disentangle ourselves from the information aspect, we simply drop the heavy load, drop the entanglement of emotion and the mind. Right? When we carry a heavy load, just drop it. Grocery bag too heavy, release it. Attachment to an angry feeling about another person, let it go. If we want serenity. Okay? That is an energy aspect of serenity. Next, the physical and material manifestation of serenity is a state of inner awareness that knows the hearing, knows the seeing, knows the speaking, and knows the knowing. Or you can notice the hearing, notice the seeing, notice the speaking, and notice the hearing. Okay, so because it's like an action. Okay, so actions are something that you can physically do, but I'm going to say no. Okay, the hearing, no, seeing, speaking. So when you're talking to another person, you can pay attention to what we're saying and just know that we're saying it. When somebody's talking, know that we're listening. When somebody's doing something, know that we're seeing it without being entangled by the analytical mind or the emotional response. Okay. In other words, if we want to achieve a state of serenity, we can use the raft. Okay, we borrow the raft of hearing and seeing, or we can use the one-word meditation: stop, drop, cease, release. Another one you can do is just being mindful. It's called practicing mindfulness. So, you know, it would encountering an undesirable circumstances or friendly person, then oftentimes we are forced to stop, drop, and cease, release the negativity. We have to jump on the raft. But when we're not with another person, when we're just on our own and working or studying or doing anything, we can practice mindfulness. And that is being present to the moment of now and paying attention to what we're doing. Our meditation is a powerful way of achieving a state of serenity. Next time when we walk down the stair from our house to our car or from our car to our workplace, just pay attention to every step. Next time when we're washing our hand, pay attention to the feel of the hand. Feel the water in the hand. Right? Practice being in a moment, and then you will feel inner peace. Okay? And guess what? We have just so we talked about wisdom. Okay, we talked about wisdom. Level 1, 2, 3. Benefit of wisdom is that we activate the energy of serenity or inner peace. But serenity, when people look at us, they will also notice a person of good attitude. Hang on, let me answer the phone, okay? My wife just called. Hello, Cưng Anh đang chia sẻ. Okay? The benefit of having wisdom is that we also light up a candle of attitude. Well, can you agree that a person of wisdom is a person of good attitude? Well, you can sense it. A person who does not let their emotion and their mind interfere with their state of lightness is a person of good attitude. We have just begun to tap into the second candle in our house of holistic health and the house of holistic wealth. Okay. That was a long sharing. I didn't realize that we were going to go that long. Okay, I know you guys are getting tired, so let's stop for today. Any last impression, any more question before we say goodbye? And next week we'll talk about another energy of wisdom, which is an attitude of magnanimity. Okay.
Yeah, I know attitude very important. Some people say that it's 30%, maybe it's 80%.
Yeah.
To determine your life.
Yeah. So, any of you got any value from this sharing today? What lesson? Anybody feel a little bit how do I say disentangled from your mind and your emotion after today's sharing? Anybody feel a little freeing after you receive the truth within yourself yet?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your lesson today. So I achieved that. I achieved the lesson. That's I have three levels. I got 3 levels of wisdom. And I can recognize the 3 levels in for my action. And I remember that I need a while, or I need a moment before I answer the question. It's help me have a right choice, right? And maybe and it is it's maybe have a correct answer. And I know what I say, what I am saying. I know what I'm hearing.
Yeah, in the Vietnamese language, there's a saying, giận mất khôn, right? Giận mất khôn, meaning if you get angry, you lose your wisdom.
Yeah.
Now we see why. Now we see why, right? If we let our mind and the emotion take over, when we get angry, then usually our action and response is not very smart. They usually get negative and we make the situation worse. But if we allow ourselves a moment of emptiness, then we experience a state of serenity and tranquility. We experience clarity. Then after that moment, we use wisdom level 2, level 1 as needed. And so our choices on how to respond become wiser. And they tend to be good choices. And we can apply that to all aspects of our life and under all circumstances.
I remember to apply this.
Okay. And you know, it's and if you help other people already by being present in this Zoom, you're already accumulating positive energy, positive credit into your virtue account, your intellectual merit account. And if you can invite other people, make it available for them to raise their awareness, expand their awareness, raise their own level of wisdom, right? Inviting them to the teaching, whether it's in Vietnamese or in English, share it with other people, then you will also accumulate intellectual merit much faster. Then it become a lot more simple to experience this state of emptiness, state of level 3 awareness and level 3 wisdom. Okay? So you can do it for yourself directly by raising your own awareness, or you can do it indirectly by helping other people. Okay, introduce them to the teaching. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything? Any last word to Marianne?
No, I have more than last word, but I'll save it for next week.
What is one impression? Okay, and at least one impression or any realization. That's important. It's not the information I give that is important, it's what you got out of it that's important.
Yeah, so from now on, I will do one word meditation.
Okay.
Stop, drop, cease, and what is it again? Release.
Release.
Yeah.
Or let go. You said just choose your own word. Whatever words that disentangle you from the mind and the emotion and give you a sense of inner peace.
Yep. Stop, drop, cease, and release. Let's go. All right.
And
Thank you.
the poem that the flyer that sent out to you guys, the Vietnamese, sort of the Vietnamese, how do you say, the rap that we use, the rap of hearing and seeing. The rap in the Vietnamese it say tánh nghe tánh thấy, ý nghe ý tánh nghe tánh thấy là bè, ý nghe ý thấy là bè, đưa người thanh tịnh về miền quê xưa. And the Vietnamese saying is ý nghe ý thấy là bè, đưa người thanh tịnh về miền quê xưa. And I have put that into ChatGPT, and I told ChatGPT to translate it into English and rhyme it into a poem. And so what I got is the will to hear, the will to see, a raft that floats so peacefully, carrying the pure soul light and true towards serenity and tranquility. I used
That's nice.
ChatGPT, I used AI to translate it and made it into a poem. Another version is the will to hear, the will to see, a raft that floats so peacefully, carrying the pure, so light and true, back to the land their soul once knew. Okay, the English version of that, you guys can you can use computer to translate.
Can you post that on Telegram?
And yeah, I said that, you know, that the one version of that is in the flyer. So you saw the flyer, one version of that is in the flyer. That's the one that says the will to see, the will to hear, the will to see, a route that floats so peacefully, carrying the
Oh,
purest
I see.
back to the land that soul once knew. Okay.
Oh, I see. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate you.
All righty. I'm very grateful for your presence, you guys. I'm honored by your participation. Okay. Keep studying, keep learning. We're gonna help each other.
Thanks, Frank.
You're welcome, Ron. You guys take care.
So,
Good.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.